I saw you all.
That's amazing how we come back and look so poised.
Right. So we
I
hope
couldn't
you
see Nancy though.
right. Oh, you can see Nancy.
No,
I saw her. Right. All
I had a
right.
whole
All right.
routine.
Well, here we are again. It's another Wednesday, Water Cooler Wednesday, and my
Hello.
name is Dion Branch. Woo, woo, woo. I didn't want to miss saying my name this time. Lisa did say it last week. So I'm Dion
Yes.
Branch with the Lord Dream Home. And
Lisa J, House Money Mama with Next to Mortgage, where brokers are better. We're here again for Water Cooler Wednesday.
yes,
All
yes.
right.
And this week we said we were going to talk about property taxes, right? So, oh my God, Cook County has done so much right this last year, and so we could not have go on without having Nancy King, the property tax queen.
That's right.
Hey,
Yay, Nancy.
right, right. She's an expert on property taxes in Illinois, and we just really had to have her here with us to educate you guys on what you can do about these property taxes, because oh my gosh, Lisa and I see them every day, right?
Yeah.
And trying to get people in houses, and we used to be able to it wasn't as big of a deal. but,
Right.
but now it is.
Yeah,
And
and now we
so
definitely have people that are priced out of houses not because of the sales price of the home itself, not the value, but because of the property taxes that are attached to that same home.
yes, yeah. And so we thought we'd bring Nancy King here to just talk to you guys and see what we can do about these property taxes. Nancy, you want to tell them a little bit about yourself? You know.
I sure do. Thank you, Dion and Lisa, for inviting me to Wednesday's water cooler. And we're going to discuss all things property taxes, especially in the state of Illinois. I
Yeah.
am your guest, Nancy King, the property tax queen, where I have saved millions of dollars over the past 20 years in the state of Illinois and other states. I have recouped, not only lowered property taxes, but I've received in refunds for clients as well, millions of dollars in surplus or overages or missing money that they were entitled to. So, as you guys know, for the Southland, south suburbs of the state of Illinois, south of Chicago, there was a recent triennial reassessment. That
Yes.
reassessment took place in 2023. Normally, what happens is, and this is every township. There's over 38 townships in Cook in the books. I'm sorry, Cook County, Cook County alone.
Freudian
Whereas,
slip.
and you guys can stop me at any time. I'm going to slow down because I know there's so much. I may need to slow down. So if you need to slow me down, just raise your hand like the church hand, okay?
Give you the Baptist finger.
Baptist figure.
Right.
So as I mentioned, there are 38 townships in Cook County alone, and that means there's 38 townships to appeal. And so
Mhm.
every 3 years, there is what you call a triennial reassessment when it comes to Cook County. In other counties, they call it a quadrennial reassessment. But we're
Okay.
going to specifically talk about Cook County today. Is that okay, ladies?
That'll
Oh
be
yeah,
great. Yeah, that's
yeah.
where the majority of our customers are. That'll be perfect.
Okay.
Yes.
All righty. And so with Cook County, there are multiple ways to lower your property taxes. And we're going to talk exemptions, we're going to talk appeals, and we're going to talk about the mortgages and what we can do to kind of probably assist with the mortgages. Is that okay, ladies?
Oh
Sounds
yeah,
great.
yeah.
All righty. So when it comes to exemptions or in the income tax world, because this is income tax season as well, right?
Yes, it
Yes.
is.
It's called tax credit in the income tax season, and the property taxes is called exemptions.
Okay.
So, as you guys know, the tax bill just was recently released, the first installment tax bill, I believe about a week and a half ago. I
Oh,
received a lot of phone calls. That,
I bet you did.
yeah. So, what happened, and let me backtrack. So, what happened in 2023, there was a reassessment, and that reassessment actually doubled, quadrupled, tripled some homeowners' property tax bill, and not just homeowners, commercial properties as well. So
Mm,
this is my take on the increase in property taxes. I'm gonna be honest. I believe, and I've been saying this for over 10 years. This is the new black tax, hands
mm.
down.
Wow.
The Southland compared to Orland, Barrington, Darien, any northern or western suburbs, based on the value of the home, based on square footage, based on the amenities that are being paid for, we definitely pay a whole lot more. Okay,
Wow.
yeah.
in the
Wow.
Southland and South suburbs. Secondly, because of the 2020 COVID
Mhm.
pandemic, that there was a lower mortgage rate that was given to drive up the economy. If Lisa, can you recall those rates? How low did they go down to?
The lowest interest rate that I probably did around that time was 1.99.
Wow.
1.99, unheard of. Am I correct?
You
Yes.
absolutely correct.
I've been doing, I've been a real estate investor. That's how I started this business. I didn't go into my background, but I started as a real estate investor, bought my first property when I was 24. Yeah, I know I only look 22 with a little gray in my hair, but I began to buy and sell and flip. So I know a lot about what Lisa do. I know a lot about realtors. I know about appraisers. I know a lot about real estate, period. And so this is my understanding of based on my 30 years of real estate. So when the price interest rates dropped in 2021, 2020, 2022, and it started back creeping up in 2023, towards the end of 2023, and then of course 2024. Of course, the market was rated, if I can say, with an inflection of people. Let me go buy a bigger home now. Let me go to a better neighborhood. Let me
Mhm.
go buy a home because now the interest rates are now lower.
Yeah.
That was a good thing for the economy, but a bad thing for the property taxes. And this
Mm.
is why there should be an overhaul of the property tax system. And as you can tell, I have no notes around me anywhere. This is just in the back of my head, and I've been doing this. And I believe I'm led by the Holy Spirit as well, because I am a woman of God. Again, and I've said this, I think, on the last time, on our last show, I didn't raise my hands to reduce property taxes. God called me to reduce property taxes. So
Mhm.
Okay.
there's a plethora of information that I know. So I believe this is one of them. So when the rates dropped, people were overbidding. Am I correct,
Yeah, they
Lisa?
did. They
Yeah.
definitely did.
Yes. And so that drove up the market values. It wasn't quite true a market value increase. It just increased because of the interest rates. Was that property truly worth that? Probably not. So then when the triennial reassessment occurred with Cook County, they just went on market value. And this is why there should be an overhaul of the property tax system.
Mm.
There is a state rate that is multiplied against the assessed value. Then there's a local rate that's multiplied against the assessed value. The
Right.
assessed value is technically the market value that the county states that the property is worth. So
Yeah.
again, there are exemptions and things of that nature that you can apply towards the assessed value to reduce that amount.
Mhm.
However, there's so many idiosyncrasies that go into those numbers and how it's calculated and how your tax bill comes out, that is still, to me, not ethical, not legal, and definitely not moral, based on a property tax bill going from $3,000 to $9,000.
Yeah, that's unheard of, ridiculous.
Yeah.
I wonder if, because I know you've had some business in other states, I'm wondering, have other states seen that type of increase? Because literally, you're not exaggerating. I've
Not,
talked to people where their property taxes have literally tripled. It's not
yeah,
an
Yeah.
exaggeration. So
no,
it's,
it's not.
and I remember seeing a news story that they were talking about this area, that how much our property taxes had gone up in such a
Mhm,
small amount of time, and
mhm.
what's due about it. So, and I'm wondering, are there other states where this kind of thing has happened, other counties aside from here? Because it seems, I don't know, it doesn't even seem right that it should be able to happen. I mean, think about it,
Yeah.
you've got seniors. You probably, and I
Yes,
know there's a senior exemption, but you've got
yes.
people that are older,
Oh
fixed
my
income,
God.
things like that. Yeah.
Oh my God. As of 2023, the state of Illinois was the number one state in the nation with foreclosures.
Wow.
I wonder why.
Yeah. Yeah.
Property taxes. Because the
So
property taxes are directly related to your mortgage payment.
yeah. Last year, during the time that the taxes were taking place, I had a client. We were going out. She fell in love with this house,
Mm-hmm.
and the other agent had said 2 days ago this property was like, let's say, $3,000 in taxes, but today it was 8,000.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Priced my
Mm-hmm.
client out of being able to buy the house
Mm-hmm.
because the taxes were so high. And it wasn't like it was a grandiose, house or
Mm-hmm.
anything
Right,
like this. This
right.
was just a, nice little ranch style home in
Mm-hmm.
Calumet City.
Yep.
My
Cow
sentiments
City.
exactly.
Yeah.
My sentiments exactly. So of course, what the county did, they just do a swipe and said, "Oh, the values have gone up. This is what Redfin, Zillow, and the market have said." And then we scrape the recorder of deed and notice that you purchased the property for $250,000. We had it at 190,000. So we're just gonna automatically increase the assessed value, not thinking that there is a direct relationship to your mortgage payment, to the
Right.
qualification of this home.
Right.
Lisa, as you know, when you're buying a home, you got to qualify income wise. You have to
Yep.
qualify with your taxes. You have to qualify with your credit. You have to qualify with so many factors, so many dynamics goes into it. And then you're like, okay, the mortgage, your attorney sit down and say, "Oh, okay, this is your mortgage payment. Okay, based on all my creditors, oh, I can handle this." Am I
Hmm.
correct, Lisa?
Yeah.
Yep. That's
Tax
correct.
bill come around, second installment, because Cook County, that's when the increase happens.
Yeah.
Or if you appeal, that's when the decrease happens, if they reduce your assessment based on the appeal. And so you're like, okay, I don't have the shortage amount of $3,000 or $4,000 in my escrow amount, nor. So then what the mortgage company does, so for example, that example, it went from 3,000 to 8,000. That's a $5,000 shortage, right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
So what the mortgage company does is, now you have 5,000 times two, because they have to adjust for the increase. So
Yeah.
now that payment has to be the $10,000 increase, $5,000 shortage that they were unaware of, the $5,000 they have to pay in the future. 10,000 divided by 12 is over $1,000 or $1,100 a month in increase. Who's getting that type of raise? Every single month, $1,000 raise on their jobs. Anyone of you guys know?
No.
So that's what has allowed people to go, is allowing people to go into foreclosure. But I have a very few secrets that could possibly help people. Okay, let me
Okay,
just.
we like tips.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about some exemptions and some other secrets. So I just wanted to give you a backdrop of the issue. as I mentioned, the south suburbs, all of the predominantly now black areas, Flossmoor, Matteson, South Holland, Chicago Heights, Flossmoor, Park Forest. Park Forest has the largest tax rate in the nation. What they had to do in order to keep some people there, they had a 39 or 40% local tax rate. They had to cut it in half to 24% last year in order for those taxes not to balloon maybe 500%. Is that not crazy, you guys?
39% for taxes?
Right.
39%
Yes.
for
Well,
taxes?
So
Part Four was is always known for the highest taxes
yes.
already. And
So
right,
it was
so just
39. Mhm.
yeah, so to imagine that an increase in Part Four is, yeah, I don't know.
Wow.
So most of the townships or the villages in those areas where they knew the assessments were doubling and tripling, they did allow for some reduction in the local tax rates. But it's my suggestion, and you guys can watch the tax bills when they come out next second installment, which comes out in July. I can probably guarantee you they're going to try to jump back up to almost those higher rates.
Mm,
So look out for some things, okay? So
okay.
here's some examples. Most people don't know about homeowners exemptions. They don't know about seniors exemptions. They don't know about senior freeze. Senior freeze is that you're over 65. Seniors exemptions, you're over 65.
Okay.
65 being senior freeze 65 and making less than 65,000 per year.
Okay.
Disability exemption. If you're disabled, deemed disabled by SSI or a doctor, if you are disabled and you haven't gotten your doctor's notification, you can fill out a P-Tax 300 forms and get your doctor to sign off on it to receive a property tax exemption if you are disabled anyway.
I have
Wow.
a
That may
question
be
about
about,
that. Does
yes.
it if there's two people on the property tax deed, but one of them is disabled, are they able to apply for the disability?
So the caveat to any exemption, they must be on title unless towards the end of my speech, I'm going to give you something else. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they have to be on title. So if, for example, if I'm 65, my daughter is 22 and she's disabled, we both make less than $65,000 in a home, we can get homeowners, seniors, senior freeze, and she will get the disability.
Mm,
Okay. So if
okay.
You can get
the husband is not disabled, but the wife is disabled, but they're both on title, they still can get the disability deduction. Okay.
whatever the disposition of the individual is, they're entitled to those exemptions or tax
Mhm.
credit in income tax world.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So again, I mentioned homeowner for being a homeowner, seniors over 65, senior freeze 65 and making less than 65,000, disabled and disabled veteran. Now there are tiers to the disabled veterans, okay? I think the
Okay.
first tier is 30%, you get a certain amount off, 50% you get a certain amount off. And then up to 70% or more, you automatically don't have to pay property taxes if you're a disabled veteran.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, with a 70% or more on your
Disability.
DD 214 percentage amount. Okay.
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 And then there is a senior deferral program. So, for example, if you make $65,000, you have up to I think 7,500 or 70. I think it's up to 7,500 or 70. I have to double check that. Senior deferral, I believe, is up to 7,500 now, where you could defer your property taxes and don't have to pay it until the property is sold, while
Oh,
still reoccurring your homeowner senior freeze. And maybe you have still have a couple of $1,000 tax bill, but in some areas, if you have all those exemptions, it may wipe out your tax bill, but because
okay.
the taxes are so high now, it may not. So
Mhm.
if you have up to $7,500, I believe you can exempt that, where you don't have to pay it until the property is sold, and or the person, the elderly person, um, you know, is unalive. That's the new word now, unalive. And their children can or inherit, or the people that inherit their home can pay the back taxes of whatever they incurred while it was deferred
Okay.
within a year. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
So
so
you
those
can
are
defer it for
exemptions.
1 year. Is that what you said? Defer it for
Yes,
1 year.
for a year. They have up a year to pay it off, or if they sell the property, it goes in the sale, just like any other prop. When you sell a property, taxes are paid.
Okay.
Okay. All
Mhm.
right. Sounds good. So we got the exemptions, or on the IRS side, what did you call it? The tax credit?
Tax credit on the IRS and exemptions on the property tax side.
Okay. All
Okay.
right.
Okay.
Sounds
On
good.
some other places, they call them entitlements. They call it star credits. They, different states they call them different things. But in Cook County and in Illinois, they call it exemptions.
So
Okay.
I do have a question. This is something that people ask sometimes in
Hmm.
regards to if they how far can you go back? Because a lot of times people are like, well, I already been here, X amount of
Yeah.
years. I don't think I can get the money back or whatever. I can't make a change. So what would you say to somebody who says that?
So I think and don't quote me on this, I think it used to be 4 years. It was 3 to 4 years, but I actually think they went back 5 years now. So
Oh,
don't quote me on that, but you can go back in
okay.
Cook County. You can go back 4 years.
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay, sounds good. We'll be able to go back 4 years in Cook County. That's excellent. All right. So then now we kind of have an answer for the people who are not sure if they can actually still do it, because they've been in the house for a period of time. So
Right.
Yes.
then you mentioned that there are some other things that people might be able to do for property tax reduction as well, aside from the exemptions and tax credits. What else were you thinking?
So, for example, like Dion mentioned, say your mother lives there and she's over 65, but she's not on title.
Okay.
You might want to add her to the deed so you can put her seniors exemptions on there.
There you
If you
go.
have a
Okay.
disabled person that's living with you, add them to the deed. You're still ownership, just add them to the deed
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Okay.
so you can get some other exemptions.
You creative, Miss Nancy.
Right.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then as far as the mortgage side,
Uh-huh.
so when you are just like in dire need and you cannot afford the payment, you can't afford to pay the shortage amount, and you're making additional payments. Maybe your mortgage payment went up $1,000, and hey, I can't afford this increase. Maybe just save up, that money. Take out a loan if you can. Take out a loan to pay the shortage so that you
Mhm.
can. It won't go up as high. That's one thing you could do. In addition, you can ask your mortgage company to do a mortgage escrow spread. And this is what I'm requesting. Ask for the stars and hopefully they get the moon. Ask them to spread your mortgage escrow over 36 months instead of 12.
Okay.
Mhm.
Over 36 months?
Yes. Like, hey,
Okay.
I can stay in this home. I don't have an increase. I can't do anything else. Hey, mortgage company, this property taxes are extremely high. I want to stay in my home. Can you spread out my mortgage payment escrow only to 36
Mhm.
months? The mortgage company knows that these taxes are uh, absorbent
Yeah. How could
Yeah.
how
in
could
the
how could
state
you
of
not
Illinois.
know? I
Yeah.
mean,
Right.
I don't work on the servicing side, obviously on the sales side. I'm definitely gonna know because I'm, seeing it
Hmm.
every day. But I mean,
Right.
this stuff has been newsworthy. So yeah, I'm sure
Yes.
mortgage companies are
Hmm.
aware things like
Hmm.
that
I
are
mean,
happening.
somebody. It was a guy in Chicago Heights who had a house. I think it was. They
His
estimated
taxes.
that. Right, that it was the house was like over $1 million or whatever. He's like, they were walking around the house like this is not $1 million house,
I remember that. That made nationwide news. It
right?
made nationwide news. I think it went up from $1,800 to $30,000 a year.
What?
Yes, that made nationwide news.
That is
Mm-mm.
insane. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was
I
crazy.
didn't I
I,
didn't hear that one.
Yeah,
Wow.
I hope his was reduced because that was crazy. So
Yeah.
He he literally had to go to the news in order for them to fight it down. They were saying, "Oh, there's nothing we can do. That's what it is." He literally had to go to the news and tell them something's not right, and that's when they put it on the news. Because I guess he tried to appeal, and they
Okay.
wouldn't go down.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
he was like,
So,
"This is not this house is valued as $1 million home." I know he was like, "I wish I could sell it for $1 million."
absolutely, absolutely, and I
Right.
get that all the time. Yeah. So,
Oh
but
my
yeah,
goodness.
so and then the thing about Cook County is that this new regime, the new county assessor, is
Yeah.
really making it very difficult for even as property tax consultants, the assessor to actually reduce the appeals because all of my counterparts and associates, business associates, we're all getting like lower successes now over the
Mhm.
last maybe 4 to 5 years. I would say my success rate would have been like 60 to 80%. Now
Mhm.
my success rate is like 30 to 40% with an
Wow.
appeal.
Mhm.
Yes.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, they're making it even difficult. So they're jacking up the assessed values, jacking up the high property taxes. When you talk to the governor, these are some other things I'm going to have you to have the homeowners to do as well. Oh, that's not me, that's the assessor. But when you ran your campaign saying you were going to reduce property taxes,
Mhm.
now that when the push comes to the shove, because we had some local assessors having individuals write our politicians, that's some of the other things you can do. Write your local politicians. Let them
Okay.
know that you are fed up with these high property taxes in the state, in your county.
Mhm.
um,
Mhm.
Contact every legislator in your local area, your mayor, your and see what they say, your
Okay.
trustees, your village trustees, your mayors, your senators, your representatives, your congresspersons, and of course the governor and lieutenant governor. Everyone write a letter. You can chat GPT a letter and say, hey, send it all out to all these legislators and mail them
Yeah.
off the next day now. It's so easy to do. Hey,
Yeah.
my property
Yeah.
taxes are too high. I want to stay in my home. You have to make it affordable. I came up with an idea and I gave it to a few politicians. There should be a cap, on a temporary cap for anyone that's purchasing their homes, that their property taxes in the state of Illinois cannot be moved for the first 3 years of the purchase of their home.
I think
Yeah,
that's a great idea.
yeah,
That legislation needs to be passed. Someone needs to do something
yeah.
Absolutely.
Because
because
definitely a lot of people, we're working with them, trying to get them into the homes. Lisa's looking at
yes,
their taxes and to
yes,
determine. A lot of people were buying at the top of their debt income that they can
Yeah.
actually afford. So
Yeah.
absolutely,
it is definitely sad that you could be in the house for 1 year and your taxes just blow up. So
Yeah.
absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah.
You still
absolutely.
getting used to being a homeowner.
Hmm.
you're not really
Yeah,
settled in as an actual homeowner yet. You still a baby.
absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, and that's why I used to do a home ownership class. Like, how do we keep our values of our home up? We've got to cut the grass, got to make sure that we fertilize the grass first and foremost. We have to make sure that the gutters are clean. We have to make sure that we get, our furnace cleaned every year, our ducts cleaned every other year. All these
Mhm.
simple things that homeowners don't know. Our air conditioning cleaned every year. These are things that homeowners need to know, and when they're purchasing the home. So those are used to be part of my home ownership class, in addition to property
Mhm.
taxes, making sure that whatever you're entitled to as a homeowner, make sure that the following year that you are eligible for, because when it comes to property taxes nationwide, you're eligible the following year.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
because you pay your property taxes in the rear. This is 2025. We're paying our 2024 property taxes.
Right.
Yeah.
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 Well, I think that this was great. You gave a
Yeah.
lot of really good advice, some excellent suggestions. I was really glad that you transitioned into the part, even though this is not a political show. However, we need to be politically involved, because especially if you have the aspiration to become a homeowner, or you
Yes,
already are a homeowner, those are
Yeah.
things, those are avenues that you need to be able to pursue in order to,
absolutely.
have that advocacy done for yourself and for your neighborhood. All these
Yes.
things keep up neighborhoods, they keep up values, they keep up a better quality of life for everybody who's involved. So thank you
Mm-hmm.
so much for all of
Yeah.
the input, for all of the suggestions, and thank you for your commitment. I know you said it's been about 30 years that you've been in real estate,
Real
and
estate, absolutely. Yeah.
okay, and
Mhm.
then at least 20 in property tax reduction
Yes.
specifically, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I've been since I started real estate, but like as a professional, maybe to 20 years. Yes.
Okay. So all of that is, beneficial to everybody who's able to get some kind of reduction, or even just getting the knowledge. Because sometimes we share this information with people. They may not use it for themselves, but they
Mm-hmm.
may have someone else that can benefit from it. So it's all about getting information out, educating people, and being as helpful as we can. That's your ministry. So I thank you for
Right.
it.
You're
Nancy, what's
welcome.
the
You're
number
welcome.
that people can reach you at?
So they can reach me at 708-986-5301, or they can reach me via PTRS Reduction. Our website is www.ptreduction.com. That's ptreduction.com.
Okay. Well, I did put your phone number here. So her name is Nancy King. If you guys need some help, we can definitely in the comments put more of her information as well. But this is her phone number if you want to get in touch with Miss King so she can assist you with your taxes and see if she can help.
Now
If
you got to call her by her full name now, Nancy King, the property
The
tax
property.
queen.
right, exactly. If for some reason you can't afford your home anymore, I do want to say that you can contact me and I can assist you with selling your home, and then we can work with Lisa J in order to get you pre-approved in order to purchase a new home, one that is more affordable for you. Unfortunately,
Yeah,
we don't want to take you from the home, that you just bought and loved, but sometimes there might be a decision that you might have to make.
right. Yeah.
Yeah. So my
Awesome.
number, yeah. So I put my number down there and my phone number and name. And this is Lisa's number. We always get pre-approved first before we actually go out and purchase a home.
That's
So,
right.
yeah.
Yes.
So we
Well,
want to thank you.
yes, I was just about to say the same thing. Thank you so much. This was great. It's
You're
really, really
welcome.
good. Thank you so much.
You're
We
welcome.
appreciate it. Miss
Thank you
Hayes,
guys
you
for
are
having
welcome.
me.
We're glad we gave good information today. I saw one in the comments.
Oh, you see the count. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Ah, yes, yes. Thank you. All right. Bye.
Bye.
You are too funny.